Today's video is a response to a question I've heard many times over the years that I've had this channel. Is a cap and ball revolver a good enough choice for everyday carry? I'm Dustin and you're watching Guns of the West. No. That's my short answer to that question, but there's more to say than just that. And I want this video to be the sort of video that's interactive down in the comments below, because on a topic like this, especially because over the years I've seen it even get heated sometimes, I would very much love for my opinion not to be the only opinion expressed here. So obviously I'll be the only one on camera in this video, but I'd really love to receive comments down below. Just please be civil to one another as you're doing that. Well, first, let me just say that this revolver right here, this is the 1851 Navy London model. It's a reproduction from Uberti. This is my favorite cap and ball revolver, and arguably my favorite handgun of all time. Absolutely. I love the history of these. I love the beauty of them. I've said before, guns back in those days were art. They were not just practical. They were also artistic. They're beautiful. They're a lot of fun. I still think this is the most fun handgun to have probably to shoot. And then, of course, the Walker, the big ones like that. If I'm going out shooting for fun, absolutely, this is what I want. This is my gun. But when it comes to everyday carry, not so much. I don't agree that it's a good choice for that. So let's go over some reasons that I'll share for why. And again, leave your opinions and comments down below. First of all, let's just talk about size and weight. This is a pretty large gun, and I do realize that you can get it with a shorter barrel, etc., but you can also get very small guns that are modern. So what do I carry? Let's talk about that for just a moment. This is a Glock 17, and this is currently my daily carry gun. It's a 9mm Luger, has a 17-round magazine, very lightweight. Of course, it's empty. When you get ammunition in it, then, yeah, it's going to weigh a little more, but nothing compared to this. So size and weight, I think this has a huge advantage over a cap and ball revolver or any of the Old West style revolvers. Also, round count. I just mentioned 17 rounds, and you can even do 18 if you do +1 in the chamber, versus either 5 or 6, depending on how you prefer to load. These do have the safety notches, so you could put 6 in there. But speaking of loading, if you've watched my channel or any Black Powder channel, you've seen the loading procedure for one of these. Now, when you're not in a hurry, it's no big deal, but imagine if you had to reload during a self-defense incident. And I realize if you are having to reload, that's a pretty terrible situation you found yourself in. But if you did have to, at least with this, I mean, it's just a quick change of a magazine and rack the slide. That's all it is. And then you've got another 17 rounds. So we've got the size and weight, we've got the round count, the reloading capability, and then there's also reliability. As much as I love these, and as you know, I do, we've all seen the cap jams and issues or little fragile parts that can break. And, when you're just out having fun, which is what I consider these to be for nowadays, not a big deal. You can have time to take care of it. It's not going to be the end of the world. But in a bad situation, if you're having to defend your life or your family, that could very much be the end of the world for you. So, a lot of fun, these guns, but I don't feel it's practical. And I know there's the argument people will say, well, if it worked back then, it'll work now. Yeah. Look at Wild Bill Hickok. He was a big fan of the 1851 Navy revolver, but I wonder if he would have been if guns like these were around. And I'm not a Glock salesman or anything. I'm not saying it has to be a Glock, but I think modern guns for this modern time are just more realistic. To be honest, I wouldn't personally even carry as a daily carry gun something like the Colt Single Action Army that takes, modern metallic cartridges in it, because just single action altogether, a single action revolver, I don't like that I have to manipulate something in between my trigger pulls. It's just more to do when my brain just turned into mush from being under all that adrenaline and stress. So I prefer something that's just ready to go shot after shot, and hopefully wouldn't need more than a shot or two, but if it did, I want to have as little that I have to do as absolutely possible. Now, there's another thing that comes up a lot on this topic. People have told me, they're a convicted felon, or they have other reasons that they're a prohibited person by federal law here in the US, and that's why they cannot purchase something like this, and so they decide they're going to carry something like this. Be careful with that. I've done a video before on whether or not this is a firearm. It absolutely is a firearm, but it's not regulated in all the same ways. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's not regulated like something like this. For example, here where I live, you can walk into a store and buy one of these with no background check. They'll ship them to your home. Not a big deal. But laws don't always just say that a convicted felon or other restricted person cannot possess a quote-unquote firearm. Oftentimes they say deadly weapon or dangerous weapon, and this would certainly qualify as that, so it may not be the loophole that some people automatically think that it is. Now, going back to me, even though you know I love the Cap and Ball revolvers, again, I'm a Glock guy. I carry a semi-automatic. This is the 17. I've carried a Glock 19, a Glock 26. I've carried a Sig Sauer as well. As far as holsters, I love the leather holsters that you've seen on my channel, especially those ones made by Duke Frazier. They're beautiful. They're even practical for what they are, but I use more modern stuff. I thought I'd share that in this video. This is my regular daily holster. It's made by Safariland, and I'll just put my gun in there empty. It clicks in. It's locked in completely, has their little ALS thing on there, and then I can get it out. But that, you know, I can hide it with a shirt or a jacket and conceal it, or I can open carry. I do both. I also have this one that I like. This goes inside the waistband. It's from a company called We the People. Has this belt clip that comes up over the pants and hooks on. And that'll just go in. Doesn't have a lock, but it fits snugly and custom fit. And then I would always conceal this one personally. So that's just my setup, just to give you an idea of what I do when I'm out in my day-to-day life, not doing YouTube. If I'm going out to shoot for fun, you bet I'm shooting something like this. But in the practical world, I just strongly feel, you know, for our daily carry, whether you're open carry, concealed carry, I really recommend a modern type of a firearm. I think that's what the bad guy would have if you get into a situation and you don't want to be outgunned. By the way, speaking of concealed carry, some of you may know I also teach concealed carry classes for a nationwide company called Legal Heat. If you don't have your permit, I can get you a pretty nice discount. If you look in the description down below on any of my videos, including this one, there's always a discount if you use my link. So check that out. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a controversial subject for those of us who just really love Cap and Ball revolvers. I just think sometimes we confuse our love with them with whether or not they really are practical in today's world for that type of an application. But please click the like button, subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos. If you look in the description, you'll see that discount I talked about, as well as where to find me on social media and where to find the Great Guns of the West products. Thank you so much for watching.